Imagine you're 8 years old. Every day after school, you race your friends home. You never walk anywhere. You run. You run through the backyard. You run around the neighborhood. You run until your parents tell you to come inside. And one day, while watching the Olympics on TV, you see thousands of people cheering as a marathon runner crosses the finish line. The crowd erupts. The athlete collapses from exhaustion. But around their neck hangs a gold medal. And in that moment, you know exactly what you want to be. A professional marathon runner. Years later, after countless races, endless training sessions, and unimaginable sacrifices, you finally make it. You become one of the fastest runners on earth. There's just one problem. Nobody told you that being a professional marathon runner absolutely sucks. Because the race itself? That's actually the easy part. The hard part is everything else. Now, a lot of people think marathon runners suffer only during races, specifically around mile 20. Runners call it the wall. It's the point where your body basically runs low on stored energy, and every step feels like torture. But professional runners discover something much worse. The wall isn't at mile 20. The wall is every single day. While everyone else is sleeping, your alarm goes off at 4 in the morning. Outside it's cold, it's raining, it's dark. You have a 20-mile training run scheduled, and your coach doesn't care about excuses, neither does your competition. So you lace up your shoes and head into the darkness, because somewhere in the world, another runner is already training. And if they work harder than you today, they might beat you 6 months from now. Professional marathon runners don't train when they feel good, they train when they feel terrible. And they do it almost every day. But that's only the beginning, because the miles start changing your body in ways nobody talks about. Most people imagine elite runners as the picture of health, and in some ways they are, but marathon running comes with a surprisingly ugly side. Let's start with your feet. After enough miles, your toenails turn black, then they fall off. Not one, all of them. Veteran marathon runners often joke that losing toenails is basically a rite of passage. Then there's chafing. Imagine running for 2 straight hours while sandpaper rubs against your skin. Now multiply that by 6 days a week. And then there are stress fractures, tiny cracks in your bones caused by repetitive impact. One day you're training for a major race, the next day you're on crutches. And here's the worst part, the harder you train, the greater the risk becomes. But if you don't train hard enough, you'll never win. Professional marathon runners spend their entire careers balancing on that razor-thin edge, and eventually, many pay the price. But the physical damage isn't even the strangest thing that happens. Now, have you ever heard of a runner's face? Many athletes hate talking about it, but it's a real phenomenon. When body fat drops to extremely low levels, the face can begin looking older and more gaunt. Sun exposure doesn't help either. Professional marathon runners spend thousands of hours outdoors, year after year, decade after decade. The result? Wrinkles, sun damage, and a permanently exhausted appearance. Meanwhile, your social life begins disappearing. Your friends are going out Friday night. You're going to bed at 8 p.m. They spend weekends relaxing. You're running 25 miles before breakfast. At some point, your entire life starts revolving around one thing, running. And that's when another problem appears, one that's much harder to see. Now, while all those things I listed are really bad, imagine being alone with your thoughts for 3 hours. Now imagine doing that almost every day. Professional marathon running is, surprisingly boring, if you couldn't tell. Painful, but boring. You wake up, run, eat, recover, sleep, repeat, over and over, for years. Many athletes describe marathon training as a psychological battle more than a physical one, because motivation fades, excitement fades, the novelty disappears. What remains is discipline, and honestly, discipline isn't fun. Some training runs feel endless. The scenery never changes. Your legs hurt, your lungs hurt, your brain is begging you to stop, yet somehow you keep moving. Because if you quit one workout, maybe you'll quit the next one, and the next, and eventually, your dream disappears. But if you think the mental struggle is hard, wait until you see the financial side. Now, football players get hit, race car drivers crash, marathon runners face a different danger, overuse, one bad step, one injury, one stress fracture, one torn tendon. Years of work can disappear overnight, and unlike many sports, marathon runners peak for a relatively short window. You spend decades preparing for a few years where you're at your absolute best. Miss that window, you may never get it back. It's one of the cruelest realities in sports. Thousands of athletes sacrifice everything chasing greatness. Only a tiny handful ever reach it, and even fewer stay there. So in the end, why do people keep doing it? Why wake up at 4 a.m.? Because every once in a while, everything clicks. The weather is perfect, your legs feel incredible, the crowd is roaring, months of suffering suddenly make sense, and for a brief moment, you discover what your body is truly capable of. That's what marathon runners chase. Not the money, not the fame, not even the medals. They chase the feeling of doing something that most humans believe is impossible. So yes, being a professional marathon runner sucks. The training sucks. The injuries suck. The sacrifices suck. But crossing a finish line after 26.2 miles knowing you gave everything you had, for many runners, that's worth every painful step. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Why It Sucks to Be stories from the world's toughest professions and sports.